with success always brings difficulty. With the salary cap, Major League Soccer being what it is, and with having a group that's successful and individuals, players that are successful, how difficult was it navigating the professional side and the personal side as you continually try to keep a group together, but yet have to make tough decisions that's best for the group?
You know, the honest truth is that it's incredibly difficult. The end of the season for me is always the most trying time. I'm an emotional person, and I don't make apologies for that. That's who I am. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I try to communicate those emotions to all the people around me. I try to make sure that people know I care. And when you get to the end of years and have to make difficult choices about people that you care so much about, it's really, really trying. And it's really tough weeks for me. And it's never changed. The very first off season, obviously, there was a ton of difficult messages to be delivered to people that I had been on the field with. So that was incredible. And every year it's gotten maybe a little bit easier, because it feels like now that you have success, there's less and less people that you're turning over. But also there's more and more feelings because you spent more time with those people. So really, really difficult. And now we come to the culmination of where we are now, and to have to say goodbye to all of them has been incredibly tough, continues to be so.
You've raised the MLS Cup. You've raised an Eastern Conference Championship, a Western Conference Championship. You've been to the finals of CONCACAF Champions League. What's the legacy of this group? What do you think is the legacy of how you have cultivated what historically is obviously, in the short amount of time, been the most successful group that we've seen in Real Salt Lake history?
I think, you know, when I think about legacy, I think about two things really. For me, consistency. And that's something that's really, frankly, isn't rewarded that much in our league, honestly. For a team to be as consistent as this team has been over the last 5 to 6 years, and especially over the last 4, where literally every year I felt we were competing for a supporter shield. We were getting ourselves into a position to win conference championships and challenging for MLS Cups every year. There's something to be said for that consistency. There's something to be said for a team that, in a club that can continue to put themselves in a place to win things. And so I want people to remember that. And I think it will be easy to remember that we were so close on so many occasions to so many things and didn't win. That's certainly the negative viewpoint, and I think that, you know, people can have that. I'm fine with that. But for me, I hope that everybody remembers that how consistent this group was, and also that we stuck to who we were. You can see in this last Kansas City game, I think it's easy. It would have been easy for an opponent in that weather, on that field, in that stadium, to have a very negative approach, and we didn't. We just went out there and went for it. So I hope that the consistency, I hope that the way we approach the game, and wanting to play the way we did, and continuing to move forward with that identity, I hope that people remember those things. And the other thing is that I hope that everybody that's been a part of this club, whether that's in the locker room or in the office or in the stadium on the weekends, knows that, to me, the most important thing about this club and this team has been that I've had the opportunity to have an influence on a lot of fantastic people. And for me, that means more than any win ever.
You and I have talked about this on, it feels like, multiple broadcasts, but with the change this year in particular, it afforded you the opportunity to bring in some different players stylistically that maybe you've never had the opportunity to have with a group like this. As a coach, as a person in this coach's role and dealing with all of these people, what did you learn about yourself this year in the locker room, tactically as a head coach, and I guess ultimately how all of that benefits you as you take that next step in your life?
I think, you know, first and foremost, I think I learned to have a little more fun this year, to enjoy it. And I think some of that honestly comes about from being in the last year contract. and having a realization in your mind that this might be the last time to do something here special with this group of people. And so I really made a conscious effort to soak things up and to enjoy myself every single day in some way. And so I think this year was so enjoyable for that. The other thing is a little bit about team building, and to really make sure that you have the right characters in your locker room, and to not look the other way sometimes, and to not sacrifice what you know is the right thing to do all the time. And so I think I learned a little bit about that. And the final piece, I think, is, and I think, you know, in the playoffs, I learned another really strong lesson, and that's that if you know something should be a certain way, and you know that your group plays a certain way, and you know the qualities of that you should stick to that no matter what. No matter what, no matter how you feel about another opponent, how you feel about how strong they are in certain areas. I think that I need to have a little bit more courage still, and I think I'm fairly courageous about the way I see things and do things, but I think there should be no room for doubt or hesitation, and just to do what I believe is the best for the team.
You know, you talked about in the very beginning of this conversation, meeting with Dave Checketts, walking through that door and seeing the fans and seeing the media for that first time at the beginning of 2005. I stood next to you when the trophy was awarded for the Western Conference Championship, and you were enjoying the moment. As we both turned around, there was an incredible RSL supporting traveling fan base. How have you seen this group grow as fans in Salt Lake Valley and the surrounding areas? And how important have they been to the fabric and the culture that you guys have put onto the field?
Yeah, you know, it's as you said, and as I said earlier, from day one I knew this was special. It wouldn't have happened that way, I don't think, in a lot of markets, that I would have been announced as the first player and there would have been literally a full room of fans and press. Right away it struck me as this is going to be important here. And then the first year playing out there, and again feeling like, God, there's a lot of fans here, and there's a lot of supportive fans here. There's nobody booing or whistling, or, you know, there was never much negative energy from the fans around the team at all. Even when things were so bad, and gosh, it would have been easy to jump off the boat there, or the bus, for the fans. And so I felt like this has been an incredibly special fan group to be a part of. And when I started coaching, I wanted to make that known. I wanted to make it very public and open, that for me, it wasn't just about the team inside the locker room. It was bigger than that, right? It was the staff, it was the office. But it wasn't just about that either. It was bigger than that. It was about the fans and how important I think they have been every step of the way. And so I hope I've done a good job of expressing that to all the fans of Real Salt Lake, that I think they're incredibly important. I think they're incredibly influential to how games go. They can provide energy. They can provide a source of changing the momentum of matches, and in soccer that's extremely important, extremely important. So I'm so thankful to all the fans that have been here from day one, and all the fans that haven't been here from day one, that have now decided they're going to be a part of the Real Salt Lake culture. And I hope that I've done a good enough job, and I hope it continues going forward, that the fans should know they're part of this family, and they're a huge part of every success that we've had.
Well, on behalf of the fan side and for all of us, good luck on your next adventure, and appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.